In The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg dives deeply into how habits are formed, why they play such a powerful role in our lives, and how we can actively reshape them to improve our behavior, productivity, and overall life quality. Duhigg brings together scientific research, real-life examples, and a simple model to show how habits can influence everything from personal health to corporate success. The habit loop. Understanding the cycle. At the core of Duhigg's research is the concept of the habit loop, a three-step cycle that defines every habit we have. The habit loop is made up of 1. The cue. This is the trigger that tells your brain to begin a habit. Cues can come in many forms, like a time of day, an emotional state, a location, or specific people. For instance, seeing the clock hit 3 p.m. might trigger the habit of grabbing an afternoon coffee. 2. The routine. This is the action or behavior you perform as part of the habit. It could be anything from scrolling on your phone, having a snack, or smoking a cigarette. In our coffee example, the routine would be going to the cafe or reaching for a cup at work. 3. The reward. Finally, the reward is the benefit you gain from completing the habit. It's what satisfies your brain and creates a feeling of pleasure or relief, reinforcing the habit for the future. With the coffee example, the reward might be feeling energized or enjoying a brief escape from work. Duhigg explains that over time, as you repeat this cycle, your brain begins to anticipate the reward as soon as it detects the cue. This is how habits become automatic. They bypass our conscious thought, so we're often not even aware of them happening. This insight is incredibly powerful because it shows us that habits can control our lives without us realizing it, but once we understand this loop, we can begin to change it. Keystone Habits. The power of a single change. One of Duhigg's key revelations is the concept of keystone habits. Keystone habits are single habits that, when changed, have a ripple effect across many areas of our lives. They create a chain reaction that transforms other behaviors. For example, regular exercise is often cited as a keystone habit because people who start exercising tend to eat healthier, sleep better, feel more productive, and even save more money. The beauty of keystone habits is that they offer a focused approach to change. Rather than trying to overhaul every bad habit at once, focusing on one keystone habit can naturally lead to other positive behaviors. This concept empowers us to start small. By identifying one high-impact habit to change, we can influence multiple areas of our life without feeling overwhelmed. How businesses use habits. The power of marketing. Duhigg also explains how businesses tap into the habit loop to influence our buying behaviors. For example, he shares the story of how Target uses data to predict customer habits, even being able to guess when a woman is pregnant based on her shopping patterns. By sending strategically timed ads, companies can create cues that lead to buying routines. This type of consumer psychology shows just how powerful habits are, not only in our personal lives but also in society. Understanding this aspect helps us see how habits shape much of what we do, often in ways we don't notice. Companies know that if they can establish their product as part of a consumer's habit loop, they can drive sales without needing constant advertising. This shows how habits impact nearly every area of our lives, from our morning routines to our spending habits, often without us realizing it. The golden rule of habit change. Replace the routine. Duhigg reveals that changing a habit doesn't mean breaking it but rather replacing it with a new routine. He calls this the golden rule of habit change. According to this rule, to change a habit, you should keep the same cue and reward but swap out the routine for something different. For instance, if you have a habit of reaching for sugary snacks whenever you're stressed, cue, you might replace this routine with going for a short walk, meditating, or drinking water. The reward, feeling relief from stress, remains the same, but the routine changes to something healthier. This principle is simple but transformative, as it allows you to reshape habits without the need for willpower alone. By keeping the cue and reward in place, you're leveraging your brain's existing wiring, making it much easier to form new, healthier habits. The role of belief and support systems in changing habits. Another essential element Duhigg explores is the importance of belief in changing habits. He argues that belief is crucial for making lasting change, especially when it comes to difficult habits like addiction. This is where support systems, such as groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, come into play. AA relies on a combination of the habit loop and community support to help individuals replace harmful routines with healthier ones, all while reinforcing belief through a shared mission and mutual encouragement. The power of belief can act as a foundation for long-term change, especially when people are part of a supportive community. Duhigg's insight here is that we often need both an internal belief in our ability to change and external support to keep us motivated, especially when trying to break deeply ingrained habits. This underscores the importance of both mindset and environment in habit formation. Social habits. How culture shapes behavior. Duhigg delves into the impact of social habits, which he illustrates through the example of Paul O'Neill's leadership at Alcoa, an aluminum manufacturing company. O'Neill focused on improving safety standards as a means to reform the company culture. By prioritizing safety, a value everyone could support, he created a strong, shared habit across the organization. As safety became embedded in Alcoa's culture, productivity improved, profits increased, and employee morale soared. This example highlights how powerful social habits can be in creating a productive, positive environment. When an organization commits to a single value, it can become a cultural habit that guides behavior and decision-making across the board. Duhigg's point is that habits don't just influence individuals, they also shape teams, organizations, and even entire societies. Small wins. The building blocks of big change. Duhigg also emphasizes the power of small wins as a way to build momentum for bigger goals. Small wins are small, manageable steps that create a sense of achievement. These wins don't have to be huge, they just need to be consistent. For instance, if you're trying to build a habit of regular exercise, starting with a 5-minute walk can be a small win that leads to greater consistency and eventually builds up to a longer, more intense workout routine. The idea here is that each small victory boosts confidence and motivation, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges. Over time, these small wins accumulate, and before long, they can lead to transformative results. Duhigg's focus on small wins is a reminder that change doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can start with just one small step. Final takeaway: transforming your life through habits. Ultimately, the power of habit leaves us with a powerful message that habits are not destiny. They can be shaped, modified, and reprogrammed. By understanding how habits work, through the habit loop, the power of Keystone Habits, and the golden rule of habit change, we gain the tools to take control of our actions and behaviors. We can identify the cues and rewards that drive us, replace unhealthy routines, and, in doing so, improve our lives on our own terms. Habits define much of our daily life, but with a little self-awareness and strategy, they don't have to control us. Instead, as Duhigg shows, we can control them. This journey of habit transformation is about becoming the person we aspire to be, one small, intentional step at a time. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the power of habit. I hope this exploration gave you the tools to understand and transform your habits, one loop at a time. Remember, lasting change isn't about willpower. It's about understanding the cues, routines, and rewards that drive you. With this knowledge, you have the power to create habits that will help you achieve the life you want. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to Speakatale for more easy-to-digest insights from life-changing books. Together, let's make every habit count. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.